Welcome back everybody to the Red Arrows F1 League for tonight's action here for round 6 of this 14 round season here, and we're back here tonight on a Monday night as always here for the latest round in this season. We've got Super Striker, the championship leader, starting on pole position here. The big news of the qualifying session just gone, the one-shot quali for this sprint race, it's only a sprint race, let's not forget, is that Brad didn't manage to put a lap in, got his lap invalidated. So the driver, who's already 32 points behind his championship rival in the standings, starts in 19th place for this one. So Brad has got a heck of a lot of work to do over the course of this one to bring himself back into the fight. But Super Striker here with a golden opportunity to really get his foot in on this championship lead. Already 32 points, obviously only 8 points available for the sprint, so has the chance to extend it to 40 if Brad isn't able to get into the top 8. But yeah, I'm sure Super Striker will be itching at the opportunity here to try and put even more breathing space between himself and Brad. So championship looking a bit like this. I'm going to quickly go for the top 10 whilst we're lining up. So we've got Super Striker leading 124 points ahead of Brad in second on 92. Then you've got Sniper C in third place on 79 points, followed by ZX Tenor, who's in fourth place on 70 points. Fifth place is Volungis on 56 points, ahead of Jordan, who's 6th on 54, with Youngie 7th on 50 points. You got Mark Bow in 8th on 46, ahead of Onslow, who's 9th on 41, and Angry Guns currently 10th in the championship standings, coming into tonight on 33 points. But here we go then, lining up on the grid, moments away from the start of the Hungarian Grand Prix sprint race here for the Red Arrows F1 League tonight. This is a complete random track here tonight. It was selected at random, I imagine from the tracks that weren't already on the calendar, but that still was a choice of quite a few different circuits, so no one's really had time to invest much effort into preparing for tonight. But here we go, lights coming on at the head of the grid, about to go racing here for the sprint race here. And it is lights out, we're underway. Super Striker's gone for the hard tyres for this one, interesting. But Volungis there's got a much better start due to the medium tyres having much better traction there off of the line as Volungis leads into turn 1. Super Striker holding around the outside, he's going to try and come back in here into turn 2, but Volungis chops him off there and has got the lead covered as they come down towards turn 2. You've got Sniper C there running in third place ahead of Shane, who's ghosting there as he goes a bit wide there through turn 2. As we see Angry Guns has moved ahead of Clen up into 8th place. Looks like Jordan Hillier and ZX Tenor are side by side here. Who's going to come out on top in this one? As ZX Tenor is now looking up the inside of Clen as well, but can't make the move there going after the hill to into turn 4 as we see a Red Bull there diving up the inside, and we see a Brad there moving ahead of Corey up into 14th place. So is he going to complete that move as we see carnage there going on? Brad getting pushed out and absolutely getting mugged there as he had a load of cars up his inside and has struggled to make headway here on this opening lap. Corey in the meantime has moved back ahead of Pavlison up into 12th place. Jordan's still in 11th place behind ZX Tenor for the time being, but the big news here, Volungis taking the lead off the line, getting a perfect start, and hopefully for him didn't jump it, but Volungis leading heading to Super Striker with Sniper C running there in third place at the moment. You've got Shane there running in 4th ahead of Few, with Little Josh Onzi up into 7th place, has made up 2 places on this opening lap. Great start from Onzi. You've got Angry Guns, Clen and ZX Tenor completing the top 10 at the moment as they'll come around the final corner here to complete the first lap of the race, and Volungis here settling into a rhythm as we see Lycorius and Brad running pretty close here, but Brad's looking to the outside to try and make this move up into 17th place, and he's going to be tight here because Lycorius is giving him a good fight going into turn 1. Brad's now going to go for the cutback coming out of turn 1 and executes that so-so. I thought he'd got it, but had to, I think, lift off there to avoid crashing into Lycorius, and actually holds position for the time being as Pavlison and Corey fighting out over 12th place. Pavlison seems to have now got that one done up into P12, so that now relieves him up a position. But at the moment it's Volungis still leading the race. Super Striker all over the back of him. Obviously Super Striker's gone for the hard tyres, so the first couple of laps will be a bit challenging for Super Striker, but once he gets his tyres up to temperature we should start to see the full potential of the championship leader and Mercedes driver here tonight. There's Sniper C, Shane have a few. There's Little Josh, Onzi, Angry Guns and Clen with ZX Tenor just behind them at the moment, but pretty clean opening couple of laps here for the sprint race here at Hungary tonight for the Red Arrows F1 League, and it's Volungis who seems to still be settling into a nice rhythm at the moment. But Super Striker's going to have DRS this time around. Is this going to be the lead for the championship leader? As Volungis there, weaving to the inside of the track, wants to make sure he can defend his position, but Super Striker's coming. He's going to move to the outside now. Is Volungis going to be able to outbreak him there on the inside? Volungis is going to try and outbreak him, but Super Striker's still there. Has kept his momentum around the outside there, and he's going to have the move done here into turn 2, way before we get to the corner. Super Striker hits the front here as Few has moved ahead of Shane up into 4th place going into turn 2. Shane's going to try and hang it around the outside, but Few's got that one done up into P4, so easy pickings there for him. As Jordan's still knocking on the door of P10 with ZX10 for the time being. As we can see, Archie's moved up into 14th place here, ahead of Jay-Z, sorry, and Ricardo's also got ahead of Jay-Z. So Jay-Z down a couple of places there on this lap so far. And Brad still running down in P18 in this race, so has not made any sort of progress really in this race worth talking about. And that was Ricardo, sorry, Jay-Z even, who seems to be having a bit of a disastrous lap here as Lycorius runs into the side of him. Lycorius not anywhere to go. Oh, it's the cast there of Richie has lost it in the background and it's going to be missing his front wing there as we were just watching the car in front. Brad Richie there has stacked it into the wall. That promotes Yogi up into P19, and Richie there, unfortunately for him, just a lapse of concentration. It does happen from time to time. It's easily done, especially through the middle sector here at Hungary. It's an unforgiving section of the track, described by many as Monaco without the walls. And Richie, unfortunately, has become victim to that very demon. As in the meantime, Brad's still trying to make this move here on Lycorius. Also, Angry Guns and Onzi are fighting over P6 and 7. And Onzi has got ahead of the McLaren. They're up into 6th place. So Onzi having a very, very strong first couple of laps here to this sprint race. And obviously, will be scoring 3 championship points so far for his troubles. Glenn there has dropped down the order massively. What's happening here to Glenn? Glenn's now running down P13. He was running in 10th not long ago. Pavlison, Corey, Archie all ahead of him. Ricardo now moving ahead of him as well. So Glenn here going backwards here at the start of lap 4. Not quite sure what's going on for the Purple Sector F1 League champion, but he seems to be really struggling here at this stage in the race. Got to keep an eye out on the battle here at the front because Volungis is still keeping Super Striker on his toes in this fight for the lead. Sniper C also right there as well, just lining these guys up and ready, waiting to pick him off like a true sniper would. But we've got a few here, and Shane battling over 4th and 5th places. Onzi bringing himself into this fight here for 4th place, so could certainly be a big contender here tonight for some very strong points indeed, as Jay-Z's dropped down to 19th place. I don't know if Jay-Z's got some sort of ailment. Doesn't look like the car's in any particular difficulty at the moment. So nonetheless, Brad has moved up into 16th place, has got ahead of Little Josh and Jay-Z, obviously with those two dropping down the order, and Brad will now be lining up Lycorius, but is too far back at the moment. So Brad really hasn't moved forward at all here in this race, it has to be said. Lycorius now lining up his teammate Glenn into turn 1. Is he going to have a chance here down towards turn 2? I think he's going to get a beautiful exit there, and Lycorius there up into 14th place without any further ado, as Glenn there is going to try and close the door on Brad. As Brad looks up the inside, and that's the chaos there between those two. They're both in the barriers there on the exit of turn 2, as Brad was a bit impatient, poked his nose up the inside. Glenn closed the door, don't think he anticipated he was there. And what an unfortunate incident there between those two. So Glenn and Brad now well off of the rest of the pack there in 18th and 19th places. Obviously, we knew that Richie had problems in the early couple of laps after stacking it going through the middle sector. But Glenn, Brad, Richie, all those 3 guys have run into trouble so far in this race. Super Striker's now got the gap over a second here to Volungis. So looking a bit more comfortable here in this race lead. Is the championship leader. 1.4 seconds currently the gap between Super Striker and Volungis. Sniper Cedo keeping Volungis on his toes as they come out of the final corner here to complete lap 4 of the race. Lap 5 should I say. As I think that I just might have the explanation for Jay-Z dropping back. I think he's disconnected, so that was his AI in the car and he's now back in the lobby, I think. But anyway, Sniper C still all over the back here of Volungis as Jordan's made the move on. ZX10 finally up into 8th place. Those two have been battling out for a number of laps now, but Jordan's now found a way through into, well actually I don't know what the point system is in sprint races. I think it's slightly different. So yeah, to be fair, I'm so bad with the point system here. It's been sent to me on multiple occasions, but I'm just completely useless at remembering it. It's slightly different from the real F1. It's very similar, but slightly different. But yeah, anyway, what would be the points paying positions in a real life F1 sprint race? Jordan is now into those positions and is now ahead of ZX10, Pavlison, Corey, Archie, with Ricardo. There's a long train of cars here, all the way from 8th place down to 16th. There's 9 of them pretty much all within DRS range of each other at the moment, as Lycorius here looking all over the back of Ricciardo. And is he going to fancy his chances here? Lycorius, Ricciardo, they're very out of shape. And Lycorius has now got a heck of a run here. Down the hill we go into the final sector of the lap as Ricciardo's still managing to keep it around the outside here. Now Lycorius is going to get a run here into the penultimate corner. If he can keep the momentum around the outside here, he'll be side by side for the final corner. And he is still there. And he'll have DRS as well because he's behind the detection point. So Lycorius is now going to be able to power on past. And hopefully for him, put a bit more breathing space between himself and these guys behind. Oh no, he was actually ahead at the detection point. So he does lose out. And Ricciardo is able to breeze back past here with the DRS. And will now get DRS down to turn 2 as well. He's side by side here as Lycorius gets a nice exit there out of turn 1. In the meantime, little Josh has managed to mug Youngie up into P15 around the outside into turn 2 as Ricciardo looked back up the inside of Lycorius but wasn't in a position to do much there. And what's happened to Super Striker? Oh my goodness me! Super Striker has dropped back here on this lap, so something has happened to the championship leader. We're not quite sure what at this moment in time. Car looks to be in pretty good nick, so I would have thought it would just been an excursion onto the grass maybe, as Ricciardo has got a 3-second penalty for track limits. But the championship leader here in trouble here in the well, just sort of going into the second half of this sprint race. I'm not quite sure what's happened to him here. Youngie in the meantime has moved ahead of Little Josh up into 15th place as Little Josh gets a penalty for also exceeding track limits, just like Ricciardo did. But Super Striker here now off for the podium all of a sudden, now well off for the lead. Sniper C is in the lead of the race. Volungus is in second place, so I didn't see Sniper C getting into the lead actually, or rather what was second place at the time I would have thought. But Sniper C now leading. Volungus has been occupying P2 for almost the entire race, but this time is a new leader, and I dare say he might have a better chance of taking the lead on this occasion, with Sniper C being in front of him rather than the Mercedes driver of Super Striker, because Super Striker obviously on the hard tyres would have the advantage, but has made a mistake somewhere and is now on the back foot here, because he's now got to overtake Few and then try and catch up to Sniper C and Volungus, who are about 2 seconds up the road from him. So it's not going to be an easy ride for Super Striker if he wants to win this sprint race here in what's a golden opportunity for him tonight, obviously with his championship rival starting down in 19th place. Brad currently is running in 17th at the moment after a collision with Clen in the early laps, as we see little Josh and Ricciardo still fighting it out over 14th and 15th places at the moment as they're going through the chicane. As always, Ricciardo they're a bit out of shape. Little Josh there, his teammate manages to capitalise on that and up into 14th place he goes. But Volungus here keeping Sniper C on his toes in the battle for the lead. Super Striker, but we're looking to try and make his move on Few as soon as possible here. Shane and Onzi are right there as well. Onzi piling the pressure on the back of Shane. Angry Guns coming with him. So lots of cars packed into a short space here, but Volungus a little bit too far away here on Sniper C to make a move. Super Striker though, looks like he's in a prime position here, looking to the inside. He's going to go up, dive up the inside here into turn 1. Is he going to have this one done? He's going to have that other boost of DRS here, down towards turn 2. Super Striker has that one done there, up into 3rd place, as Shane's still ahead of Onzi in that battle for P5. Angry Guns has dropped off of Onzi actually, has made a mistake I think. Jordan's still running just ahead of ZX, Turner, Pavlison, Corey, Archie and Lycorius. That is a 6-car train there, fighting over 8th place at the moment, and they've got a big gap back to the likes of Little Josh and Ricciardo, and also Brad, Youngie, Jay-Z and Richie at the moment. Jay-Z is Richie's actually closed up onto the back of Jay-Z as well in the battle for 18th place, so that could be one to watch pretty shortly. But I tell you what, Super Striker has wasted no time in getting up onto the back of our 2nd place driver here, as Jordan has made the move up to 7th, and that's because Angry Guns has made a mistake there and is onto the grass. So Angry Guns there getting out of shape, going through the middle sector, and that's given Jordan the position now. An extra couple of points there for Jordan. Angry Guns seems to have had a problem here. I think he might have a missing front right end plate there. So Angry Guns is either going to limp round for the last 3 laps or he's going to bring it into the pits. I suppose we're going to find out which of those it's going to be, but nonetheless, back to the leaders here. Super Striker up the inside of Volungus into turn 1. That is job done there for the championship leader, but he's got to now try and chase down Sniper C, who's just over a second ahead, so it's certainly not insurmountable at this point. Also, the medium tyres will be starting to really feel the pace at this point. The hard tyres will be still good to go for a long way yet. Angry Guns is coming into the pits here at the end of lap 9, so he's fixing that front wing, and away he'll go in a second. But I tell you what, Super Striker has done brilliantly here since obviously that moment a few laps ago. Obviously he had a mistake which dropped him down to 4th place. We didn't see it, but we saw the result of it, and he was about 2-3 seconds off of the lead, but managed to get back ahead of all the guys in between himself and Sniper C. Dispatched Few and Valungis in short order, and now could be on the verge of retaking the lead. And it'll be a case of, I think, he got away with that one if he's able to win this race, because obviously he had it very much under his control. He'll be a bit concerned with whatever caused him to sort of drop his focus, but I'm sure that he'll be able to get himself back together. And you know, when you get away with a mistake like that, you can kind of think, okay, thank goodness for that, let's make sure it doesn't happen again. But Super Striker here now making a move to the inside into turn 1. Sniper C's trying to hang it around the outside, but Super Striker there on the inside with a bit of DRS is going to power past Sniper C down to turn 2, and that is job done there. And the race leader once again is Super Striker, and now he can try and pull away here on those hard tyres, as we see Shane there looking up the inside of Few into turn 2, but can't quite make that happen. Onzi now is looking pretty hot on these guys' heels. He's now looking to close up onto the back of Shane. He's a bit too far back there going into turn 4. And that's the whole position for the time being. Jordan still keeping ZX10 at bay. These guys have broken away from Pavlison, Corey, Archie and Lycorius, so they're now well out of the fight. So you've got Pavlison trying to keep Corey and Archie at bay. Jordan and ZX10 have managed to gap that trio considerably at this point. So let's see if ZX10 can try and have another crack at Jordan, although Jordan has now broken that DRS range, so he's looking a bit more confident here. Is the coordinator, league admin here at the Red Arrows F1 League. His fellow admin here out the front, currently doing the business right now is Super Striker, but Sniper C hasn't let him off the hook in fairness, despite obviously Super Striker having the better tyres at this point. Sniper C's stuck to the task pretty well. Is he still going to have DRS down the straight though? That's going to be interesting to see. Yes, he does. So that'll bring him a little bit closer. He's obviously not close enough to make a move, but it'll keep him within range and might just keep Super Striker on his toes a little bit on this final lap of the race. Here for the sprint race here for the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Red Arrows F1 League. We can see Corey making a move on his teammate Pavlison into turn 1. Is this job done? I think it might well be. Pavlison trying to keep himself there. Bit of contact there between the two of them, as Pavlison got a much better exit out of the corner despite not having DRS. Corey trying to hang it around the outside here of turn 2. They're still side by side, and Pavlison trying to hold his line there on the inside, trying to take a tight radius there to maintain his speed. But nonetheless, Corey has that one done up into 9th place, as Archie's still keeping Lycorius at bay as well. But this has brought these two well into the fight here for 9th place here. So Pavlison and Lycorius could be sensing a chance here to get themselves involved in this fight. Jordan still keeping ahead of ZX10 for 7th place. That looks like he should have that one in the bag there. And Jordan, it's been a really solid sprint race from himself here. And I'm sure he'll be looking to try and take that momentum here into the Grand Prix. But it's all about this man, Super Striker, who's coming through the final couple of corners. Knew that this would be a big opportunity here with his championship rival starting down in 19th place. Brad's recovered to 14th, but it's not going to be enough for him to score points. Super Striker up towards the line is going to take the win for the sprint race. Sniper C in 2nd with Valungis in 3rd place. Few there over in 4th ahead of Shane P5, with Onzi 6th ahead of Jordan 7th. ZX10 over to finish this one in 8th place ahead of Corey, who's going to come over in 9th. Oh, it's just a tight race there for P10. Pavlison and Archie neck and neck to the line. Pavlison 10th, Archie 11th with Lycorius 12th. Little Josh in 13th place ahead of Brad, who comes over in 14th place. He'll be bitterly disappointed with that. I was going to say he didn't get points, but obviously point system's different. He would have scored some points for this one. Ricardo 15th ahead of Jay-Z in 16th with Youngie 17th, Richie 18th, and Angry Guns will be the last driver over the line there in P19. Glenn unfortunately didn't make it to the checkered flag, but we'll be back, I'm sure, for the Grand Prix to try and recover some lost pride there. But anyway, that is Super Striker taking yet another win here for the Red Arrows F1 League. And guys, if you're watching on the Red Arrows playlist, then the next video will be the Grand Prix, so obviously just wait a few seconds and that'll come on. And yeah, we'll see you all for the next one. Cheers.